All right, welcome in again. This is Jin with Dos Santos Apartment Homes. We're continuing to build the app out. Where we left off last time is handling the login and logout of the JWT server. So far, the logout hasn't been built out at all yet, and the login is mostly built out. We still need to create a token refresh route. Um, to finish everything off as well as the logout. So that's going to be the next portion that we're going to be handling in this video, um, or at least this stream. That's the goal. The end goal of this stream is to finish this logout, create an auth token, um, and begin piecing everything together and maybe try to um, start interacting with it on the front end. After that's all done, if there's additional time left over, next thing I'd like to go ahead and start is what was it? It is the building out more of this Google Drive doc, go over what we've completed so far and what we need to do next. So we'll see how far we get today in terms of that part. For now, I'm going to go ahead and find this live stream and share this out to a group of friends. There it is. Triple link. I'm going to hide my screen for a second. Alrighty, and we're good to go. Alright, so the last portion that we worked on is this portion right here on this refresh token.create that we did. So let's go ahead and get our server back up and running. As we always do, let's go ahead and first look up WSL start Postgres. Yeah, I saw it right up there, sudo Postgres service PostgreSQL start. Cool. Put in the password. And now we should be good to go and say npm run start server and npm run build watch. This is to compile for the front end of our website, and this is going to be serving our application. So now we should be able to say localhost 8000, and we can see our app. Cool, everything is running as intended. We have our cool button, the basic structure of our app on the front end, and now on our back end, we should be able to go ahead and run these API routes. So let's go ahead and go into Postgres, Postman. Excuse me, a lot of posts. But let's go ahead and check the workflow to make sure that we have a good understanding on how the login section of our application is working. So the very first thing we'd want to go ahead and do is actually just do a quick login. Actually, let's do a sign up. Do we have our account already stored? So my email, my password is this is my password. So let's go ahead and try signing up and see if we get an error because this is already, yep, this user is already existing. So we can't sign up with the same email. So if I tried to re-sign up with JWT227, then we can see here we are able to create a new account with password, this is my password. So now if we go into our login, let's actually go ahead and log into the user we just created. And let's try adding in an extra character. What happens if we make an error on our login, but we have the right email? So it actually was able to generate, which I'm surprised about. I guess that question mark doesn't stop it. So I'm able to generate an access token and a refresh token regardless of the information in here, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and check what our login is doing. So we're finding this user, and if the password is matching, then it should go through. And if it's not matching, then we should get an incorrect password. It seems like this else statement is not working out very well for us. That's very interesting. So the password we're passing in from the request.body is working with the user password. I'm gonna add a console log here. Console.log password. Let's also give it a label. Save this and send this login request. Password is A. And user, so now saying user equals user.find find one. So let's do another console.log of server password. User.password. If I change this request, then I'm going to be sending password B. And the server password remains the same. And for some reason, bcrypt compare bcrypt compare um, is true. Very strange. So let's go ahead and take a look. User equals user.find1. And if the user exists, then we go into this. So if I send 228 or 229 and we send this, unable to find this user, we access this else statement right here. But now after we create this user, as long as this user exists, for some reason we're able to, everything is working. Even if the password is wrong, we're still able to pass this bcrypt compare function. Now, I want to actually just go into actually see my database. Okay, so we only have these two users, JWT226 at gmail.com and JWT227 at gmail.com. We're able to, we have these passwords for both of these. And you have this sign up. We ran into this user already exists line, and if the user doesn't already exist, then we're gonna hash the password with 10 salt rounds. And const user equals user create. Make it with a hash password, first name and last name. So now we have if this is true. What if I just pass in the string A? Will this cause this postman request to not work? See if we can Google this. Bcrypt compare true. Ah, it's asynchronous. Good to know. Okay, so compare is an asynchronous function, so we need to say await bcrypt compare. So this will solve our problem, and now even with 227, even if we send this, we'll get incorrect password, and we'll have to say this is my password. Send this. And that was incorrect as well. So I forgot my password. Let me go ahead and check the sign up. This is my password. It looks correct to me. Oh, let's go ahead and fix this. So now let's compare password, take out our console logs because we found the error. Save this, run it again, run this. Perfect. Then we put in the right password. We have this saved. And now that we've generated these refresh tokens, one thing that we're going to see here is let's check our let's check all of our things. We should have refresh tokens, and instead of our refresh tokens, we're gonna have something interesting where we're just gonna have a lot of results. Select all from refresh tokens. Now we're gonna have a lot of different results. I'm gonna assume this is really not what we want. We want some type of component did mount, did unmount, or we just want to make sure that users are logging out properly, but even if they're not, they're saved in a really, hopefully, a very large database where it shouldn't really have any real impact um, on the database. Maybe just every once in a while, if a token is older than, let's say, like 7 days or something like that, then we would just go ahead and recycle it or put it into like if we're using like AWS, maybe just use like the Glacier S3 storage. It's just cheaper because we're just not going to really access those. But hopefully we can just delete them. In any case, um, generally what I want to do is have the user actually follow in this route called logout. And then when they hit this logout route, it's going to remove this refresh token from this database because we're going to be checking this database to see if they're logged in. Um, so what we actually want to go ahead and do is create this logout route to help us delete this. Um, all right. So auth logout. So undo router dot delete and then logout. Async res next. Now const user. Okay, so what we'd want to do is we want to pass in a refresh token. So const refresh token equals rec.body. And now if the refresh token is null or falsy, then we want to return res.send status 401. And I'm gonna go look this up again. Status codes 401. Unauthorized. Unauthorized to log out. It can happen. I believe it. Okay, so refresh token null. If there's no refresh token event being passed in, you can't realistically log out. And then when you log in, oh, excuse me, when you log out, if you do have the refresh token, then what is going to happen? We are going to need to, um, we're going to have to say await refresh token dot. I want to say it's just delete, but let's see. Equalize delete destroy. Find one where, let's see. Even should be able to leave it like this. Refresh token. So we're gonna find the refresh token, and then we have to say await const const token equals await refresh token. I'm just gonna say user token dot destroy, and res dot send. For now, I'm just gonna say user is successfully logged out. Okay, perfect. So what do we have here? Now we have an auth logout route, which is going to first find the refresh token inside of the body. And if that refresh token is falsy, then we're not really able to find or delete anything. So we're gonna do a send status of 401. There's not authorized to log out because they're not logged in. Um, is that really the status code? Is there a better status code I can use for it? We'll just send a 400 actually. It's just a bad request. And so now we have sending a status 400, and then const user token is equal to, let's go ahead and find the refresh token inside of our database, and then destroy that user token. Once we're able to successfully do all of that, then we're going to go ahead and send a status message that just says user successfully logged out. Status code for 200, or what's successfully deleted? Yeah, I'll send a 200. Successful. Okay. So now let's go ahead and go into Postman, and let's see. Last refresh token we have over here, EYJ, ends with HZ4. HZ4. So I have it right here, ID 12. So now what I want to go ahead and do is I want to create a new route. That's going to be delete, and log out. Inside logout, I want to send some raw JSON data, and that is going to be refresh token. And I'm going to pass in this refresh token. It's not like that. Why not? What happens if I just take it directly from login? Take this right here, paste it in like so. Hmm. Interesting. Let's go ahead and save this as logout and delete or logout. Okay. So now if I send this request with the body and send in the refresh token that we used to log in, user is successfully logged out. Now when I go ahead and recheck this, if I scroll down, I can see that 11 is not there, or 12 is not there, and they have successfully logged out, and their refresh token was removed. So what that means is um, that refresh token is no longer able to create new authentication uh, tokens to um, continually refresh every 30 minutes for this access token. So let's see. Let's go ahead and create a new route called auth token. Um, Actually, that's most likely what this refresh is doing here. The refresh is generating these new tokens that we're able to use. Let's see. Refresh token is what we're passing into the body. And with this, the database refresh token, we're going to go ahead and find it. And if the database refresh token does not exist, we're going to send a 403, which means we're forbidden. We don't have access. We're not authorized to use the token that's being passed in. Now we're going to go ahead and verify that this refresh token can be found, um, that this refresh token was created by our specific refresh secret key that we have inside of our M file. And if there's an error and we're not able to properly pass, then we're going to send another forbidden status. And if it does match up, then what we're going to go ahead and do is re-sign um, with the user's email and password. Let's process some secret key, and we're going to send that access token back. Perfect. So now we have all this stuff. So we're able to sign up to create a user. We're able to log in um, with this information to generate both a refresh token and an access token. And whenever it expires, we can go ahead and run this refresh to say, okay, let's go ahead and refresh the token as long as it's still inside of our database. So we can remove this token from our database whenever we log out or unmount the app. And we just verify here. So I feel like another layer of security we'll need is to somehow delete these access tokens that are older than. So when this updated at passes, a certain point, we'd want to delete those as well. But that's going to be more of an edge case that we can try to solve later. Um, yeah, because I think that's going to be more with the database management side that we're just going to make sure to have to consistently refresh and delete the older entries, maybe on like a daily basis or something like that. At the end of the day, at midnight, we would go in, check all the to clear this refresh token center that we have for any older lingering databases that weren't properly logged out for whatever reason. Alrighty. There's one thing that we could do is actually build out our refresh token because refresh token table only has ID refresh token created at updated at. One additional thing I would be able to do is actually create another foreign key that would link it to a user is so that one user can only have one refresh token. So if they were to log into somewhere else, um, then or it turns out, yeah, if a user were to log in and they were to find a refresh token, then we would want to first delete that refresh token and then create a new one. I'm trying to think of what the downsides of doing it this way might be. And the only issue is that it would just take more resources in order to do this every single time. The thing is, once this is actually deployed as an actual app, we can't always rely on like the front end interaction to make sure to delete these refresh tokens. But I also feel like just deleting these consistently um, in a more timely having to do more with the timing rather than if they're logged in or logging in or logging out is going to be the best and most reliable way to handle these refresh tokens. Um, at the same time, maybe not, because as the user logs in and logs out, then hmm, or more when if a day passes and they're still logged in, uh, this refresh token. I'm gonna take a step back. So when the users are logged into the application, they could be logged in for a couple of days and close out of the browser, reopen it. They should still have the refresh token. They're able to stay logged in for as long as they want, and for as many days as they want until they log out. So when they log out, we're going to remove that refresh token from the database. Otherwise, anyone who has access to a computer should be able to just go ahead and keep they're able to use the application as they please. From what I can think about, that seems consistent. Now I'm trying to think if there's a way that they're actually able to log out um, log out and still somehow keep their refresh token without getting it deleted from our database. The issue with creating this extra step of okay, let's go ahead and actually do like an 08 refresh token dot find, and then after finding the refresh token, deleting this and then creating a new one, is that you would no longer be able to be logged into multiple devices. So we actually wouldn't be able to follow this type of structure. Um, this seems pretty standard, and this is the intended interaction that we'd want with the application. So I'm not able to add an extra step to delete these. And I'm not even too sure if I'd want to delete these every once in a while. I'd say if it's over a week old or something like that, then it would be okay to delete. But again, that's more of a server side, more of a database type operation that I'm not going to try to get too much into. This is also something that could be handled in something like AWS S3. Um, if some entries are old enough, then maybe they'll just be converted over. I'm not 100% sure, especially because now that the more I think about it, this is a database rather than file storage. So I'd have to find out what resources would best be able to solve this purpose, but I'm going to say in the back end it is not where we should be handling this concern. I think this is good um, for how we intend this app to be used, which is if you're logged in, you should be able to say logged in. Alrighty. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go through the workflow again one more time. Let's go ahead and sign up with a new user. JWT228 at gmail.com. JNYK228 is going to be the password as well. Not a very secure password, but that's okay for now. Now that we signed up, we have our hash password, which is going to be stored in our database. Um, Inside of our database, this is the string that's going to be stored, which is going to be very difficult and time consuming to unencrypt. So our passwords are secure. And even if someone were to create a new password with the exact same string, this hash password is going to look different every single time as well. So it's going to be extra secure. Um, there's not going to be a good way for them to say, oh, this certain string pattern is going to likely be these certain passwords because of the frequency that they're used. We don't have to worry about anything that is really secure, and um, any hacker who sees our database isn't going to immediately know what someone's password is just by accessing it, unless they also had um, our secret keys and everything as well. So after that, now our next step is to log in with K228. And first I'm going to try entering this as my password, and we should be getting an error because this is not the right password. Let's see. We signed up here and then we log in. And again, we're seeing that we're able to generate an access token and a refresh token. So let's go ahead and go back to our login and check this one more time. And somehow this got deleted. If await bcrypt compare. So I'm not sure how that got deleted. We'll just save that again and rerun this. Now if we run this, incorrect password, please try again. Now we're going to want to say JNYK228 and send this again. And now we have our refresh and our access token and our refresh token. So now that we have this access token, what we can do is we can actually go into this refresh. We can take our refresh token to keep generating new access tokens. So this access token is valid for 30 minutes. Say 30 minutes pass, we try to run requests, it says that they're not authorized. We can go ahead and run a refresh with the refresh key that we have stored in here. F here, yep, that's the right one. Now we're gonna refresh. This is going to be a new access token. Is that what it's called? Yes. And one additional thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send this as an object. So now when I hit refresh again, I want to see this as an object access token. That way it's just labeled and we know exactly what kind of data it is that's coming in. So that's all good. I believe there's a little bit of cleanup code here I can do. I can just send it like this. That should also work. I save, send it again, make sure it's still functional. It is. And now this access token is valid for 30 minutes from the time it was created. Now there's a problem. Anyone with this refresh token is able to just consistently run this refresh command as many times as they want, and they can stay logged in forever without even having to know the user's uh, ID, email, or password. So that's a problem. So this person that's logged in should have this option to log out. Now we're able to send this exact same refresh token over to this API route called logout. And when they pass this in, user is then able to successfully log out. If they successfully logged out, that means if someone were to have this refresh token and they were like, oh, 30 minutes has passed, let me go ahead and just generate another access token. If they run this, then the hope is that they would no longer be able to create new access tokens, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. So this is going to be something that we're going to have to solve again. Um, let's check our refresh. If refresh token is null, um, okay, so this isn't, we're not able to log out multiple times with this exact same refresh token. Connection refused. User token. Let's see. Uncaught promise. Column refresh token dot refresh token does not exist. Let me go back a few steps. So this is camel case and this is all lowercase. So here, same thing, refresh token lowercase, then camel case refresh token. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And now we're going to go through the workflow again a little bit faster. And I'm going to create a new user. JWT229. Sign up. Okay, we have our fourth user. Now let's go ahead and log in. Try signing in with the wrong password, does not work. Thank you. Send this. Now we have our refresh token and our access token. We're only concerned with the refresh token for now, so let's go ahead and copy this. And let's see if we can send this refresh token. Perfect, and we can. We get a new access token that's valid for another 30 minutes. If we don't want that to happen anymore, and the user says, I don't want this refresh token to be valid anymore, they are going to log out. Call it refresh token. Well, a refresh token does not exist. Hmm. Let's go ahead and check this. Refresh token is camel case here. Interesting. Refresh token. Go ahead and resave this. I did not know this search was case sensitive. That's something good to know. Okay, so now I've changed this like refresh token thing quite a few many times. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to just reset this database. Let's change to Postgres, drop database, the Santos, create database, the Santos. Okay. Now let's go ahead and rerun everything. Okay, we could just leave the front end um, web compiler alone. Now we should be able to say select all from users. Nobody select all from refresh tokens. Nothing. Okay, we're all good. Clean slate now. One more time. 226, which is my actual email, in case you want to email me for any reason. Generate a password. Log in. Grab the refresh token. Confirm we're able to refresh and generate a new token. If we have one thing different, what happens? Forbidden, we're not able to. Perfect. Log out. Or let's go ahead and generate a new token with the right refresh token again. Perfect. We're still able to get this access token. Now let's go ahead and delete this. User successfully logged out. Now when I try running this again, it will give an error, hopefully. Maybe it takes a few seconds, not too sure. Let's select all from refresh tokens. So refresh tokens is empty. So refresh should not work. It's interesting that it's still working here. Refresh. Let's see. Okay, so we can see here that refresh token is being taken from the body. And currently we're verifying the refresh token with the JWT refresh secret key. So all we're doing in this line is actually generating this refresh token. If we're able to find this refresh token. So let's go ahead and console. Oh, we need to await this. Find one is going to be a database request that we're sending. And anytime that we're dealing with the database, we definitely need to wait it, give it time to actually complete the action. So I'm going to save this again, run this, and now it is forbidden. Now, with that fix sent, let's go ahead and redo this all with a new. So you cannot send request viewing console. Why am I getting an error for creating this? Cannot set headers if they are sent to the client. Let's send this one more time. Cannot set headers if they are sent to the client. Hmm. I'm running this server again. Okay. Went ahead and sent this. Looks like it's fine. After that, we need to log in. Same information. Generate a refresh token. Confirm that this refresh token is able to generate new access tokens. After it generates access tokens, we need the ability to log out so the refresh token is no longer valid. After user is logged out, we should be able to see a forbidden request here. And then from there, now there's apparently one additional thing we need to check up, and it's that we are still able to create a new account after all, after we run through this entire workflow. Let's go ahead and send this again, and now we get this sign up error. And let's see, connection refused. Connection keep alive. I've seen this error before, but I don't really recall it happening under this same circumstance. The res object is a subclass of nodes server response. You are allowed to call set header as often as you want until you call res write head. After write head, the headers are baked in, and you can only call res.write and finally res.end. This error means that you're already in the body or finished state, but some function tried to set a header or a status code. When you see this error, try to look for anything that tries to send a header after some of the body has already been written. For example, look for callbacks that are accidentally called twice or any error that happens after the body is sent. In your case, you called res.redirect, which caused the response to become finished. Then your code threw an error res.rec is null. And since the error happened within your actual function, not within a callback, connect was able to catch it and then tried to send a 500 error page. But since the headers were already sent, set header through the error that you saw. Hmm. Sign up in the workflow body, find a user. Hmm. Very strange. So what's the line that this is happening on? That's the headers of the part called the client, server response set header. Okay, node modules, server auth index.js 58. Server auth index 58 right here. I wonder if it's set return. So I don't know why it would need to say return anywhere in there. Same in here. Once it reaches a send res.send, then that's going to be the end. Kind of strange that I had that written. That should be there should be no needs for to have like return statements. So hopefully that's the catch that we wanted to see. Let's go ahead and try running this again. And it looks like it went through all fine. Log in 228, 228, send, all good to go. Refresh. Go ahead and check our login, take our refresh token, refresh this, send it. Access token is good. log out, send, successfully logged out. By refreshing again, we are forbidden. And are we able to create a new user and do this all over again? No, we still cannot. We're still getting this error on line 5813, which is the refresh. So with this a refresh, JSON web token, so JWT.verify, get secret. Let's see. Is JWT verify asynchronous? If a callback is supplied, the function acts asynchronously. The callback is called with a decoded payload with signature close expiration. Okay. So in our case, our verify is taking in a third parameter, which is a callback function, and so it does act asynchronously. So we need to say await JWT. Gonna go ahead and save this, and now let's go ahead and see. So we've already signed up a few times. I think we have enough accounts. We can just go ahead and log in with 226 again. Log in, we generate our refresh token. Check to make sure we're able to generate new access token. We are. Now we're going to log out. Successfully logged out. This will no longer work. Now we can go ahead and sign up with 229. Run this. It still does not work. I'm getting the same error. This await JWT.verify. Oh, sign doesn't look like it's synchronous at all. It does look like it's asynchronous. So there should be no issues with saying access token equals JWT outside. Oh. Hmm. Alright, I'm actually picking at my lips, which is not good. Looks really dry. Let me just put on some chapstick and stop touching my mouth. 1 second here. Alright. So now we know that the sign up doesn't work after we run the refresh for whatever reason. Can we still log in? We cannot. So after we get the refresh token forbidden is when we start having issues, actually. So not set headers. Let's see. 403 status code. And let's see. JWT verify. What happens you're using the callback and the rest of the function keeps going on, so until callback happens, you're already sending the header. So until the callback happens, so you're using the callback. There's no. Hmm. Okay. Try cat for verify. So I'm letting mine complete asynchronously. I don't have any async funny business going on inside of here. There's an error. His async logic. It's to call next only after you've got either result. So I'm going to try running this next, because as far as I can see, what it's saying is that JWT verify has to complete, and then after it completes, I'm assuming that we just have to just let our code know that this verify is no longer sending. The other option is to just follow exactly how it says and just run after we run verify. We're gonna run next after both if statements. But I feel like this should also um, complete the same jobs. So let's see. As far as I can tell, even if it's forbidden, we can run this, and then after that, we shouldn't be able to run this. Yes. All right, let's try restarting the server. We'll sign up. And then if we run this refresh, get this forbidden. Try saying this again. We're going to get an error. Cannot send headers after they're sent to the client. So this did not work out. Let's try following the same thing. If there's an error, let's try this. Close out. Remake. Run up again. Send was created. Time to refresh. Sign up again. Or send. Not send the request. Let's check this again. There's an error. Let's see. Okay. So return. So one thing that I was thinking of is that maybe we do want this return in here to actually properly end this callback function inside of our post request, because for some reason we're getting this HTTP headers send request error, because for some reason it's thinking that we're still have our headers, we're trying to update our headers or our content. um, we're trying to update the headers after like the body has already been been sent somewhere. And because this sign up request works the first time, it seems like there's something really weird going on with our refresh. Body found, if found, send this. Turn, 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 turn. Let's go ahead and add all these returns. Close out, restart the server, and see what happens now. So it's 224 is created. Now we can sign in, log out. I want to make sure everything else outside of the refresh is working. So now if I want to create 223, it should work no problem. Perfect. But once we go ahead and we log in and we resend this refresh token, are we still able to do it, or is it only after we get a forbidden? So for now, we're still able to do it. But now let's go ahead and log out with this refresh token. Hit this forbidden error. And now try to sign up again. Now we're getting this error. So it's only after we're getting this forbidden error that we're having issues. It's really interesting. Express unable to send post route after sending 403 error. Where am I getting on this end actually? Connection refused. This is just a 500. Hmm. Okay. Not set headers after they are sent to the client. Yeah, after we try running this verify, nothing inside of this poster out has anything to do with JWTs. Not set headers after they're sent to the client. So is it just this one, or am I not able to log in either? I'm not able to log in either. So let's see. Windows. Let's see. JWT verify callback. So maybe I'm just not understanding how this JWT callback is working. If a callback is applied, the callback is called with the error the JWT. Sign verify. Error returns an object. If error exists, Find refresh token database now found since status 403. Oh, this is where I need the return, because if I'm not able to find a token, then I just need to not reach this await JWT at all. But let's see if that is the source of our troubles. It's just so I should send a return here then actually. Start the server. Let's see how well we do. See, sign up with this. 720220, all good. We're able to log in, generate a refresh token, take our refresh token, refresh, send, still good to go. Log in, successful. Now I try to send again. We are forbidden, but we are still able to create a new user. Perfect. Okay, cool. Now we're all good to go. Now I just need to make sure to return before we hit this verify, because this, if we don't return, then as you can see, it'll still try to verify, um, and it'll be trying to verify only after we've already sent the body, so we can no longer update the header. Oh, excuse me. So now we are all good to go. Now I can go ahead and hit add, hit commit, logout, and created and um, refresh error resolved. Git push origin. What's the name of the branch? Git branch. Git push origin refresh key. All right. Now that we know everything up until now is working, well, I can go to GitHub and push these changes. Send a pull request, merge it into development. Cool. Let me delete this branch. And let's see if we have any other branches that we're not looking to have. This route update. We can delete this branch as well, it seems like. Let's see. View all branches, route update, delete this. Go back to our code. Now I just have development and main. And yep, we're all good to go. So from here, now we have a successful login, logout authentication route. One good thing for us to do may be to just have this authentication route completely separate from the rest of it. So this can run on its own server on, let's say, like 8001. Um, Excuse me. In order to do that, what I'd have to do is I'd have to have a new server it's connected to the same database. So we need to sync the database and then listen and serve a different app. Let's see, server index.js. Let's see, what I could do is I could also say const server app equals express. Let's say server app dot use this auth route. Okay, auth server is definitely a better name. And here, so saying server F, auth app. Save these changes. I have my server, I have my auth server. So now I'm going to sync and then say auth app, ransom part 2001. Save this. Okay. So now I have start server, and I also want start auth server. Let's go ahead and check our package JSON. So start server. Start auth server. Run on nodemon. Let's see, auth server.js. HTML environment is HTML, JavaScript, CSS. Yeah, so I can just leave it as JavaScript. Let's save this and see what happens. Let's run start server. And then run npm run start auth server. This is running on port 8001. And now with both of these servers running, everything here should now change to 8001. Now auth sign up 218, 218. Send this. Also, if I tried doing boot 20, this should already be created, so this user already exists. Perfect. 218, 218. Send. We got a weird request because it needs to be 8001. And now we are good to go. Let's go ahead and update all of these. 8001. 1001. Send this refresh token on 8001. Good to go. We're also able to log out with our new refresh token. User successfully logged out. Send this. It's now forbidden. And let's see. What's on this 8000 request? Maybe we can just do this just to make sure that we can see that even though we're running this on two different servers, they're both accessing the same database. API for is clear the middleware of authenticate token, which I've made this authenticate token. So request headers, authorization. Okay. So now we have this authenticate token middleware that is supposed to say rec.user is equal to the user only if we're able to verify between the token with the secret key. Okay. So for this, I actually need to go into this login, and this access token should still be valid from what I know. Should be able to copy this, paste this into here, send this. This is API route and it's cleared the middleware. If I went ahead and said nothing as a header, unable to authenticate user. So this API route is good and it's cleared the middleware, and this can be used for 30 minutes. Oh, okay. Good, good, good. So now I know this middleware is functioning properly and everything is well connected. I feel like, oh, surprisingly exhausted from getting this portion done, but that's really good that we've also been able to separate this. So let's go ahead and put in another commit. I am very not good about consistently committing. So this is one thing that I'm hoping to get a lot better at as I go through this project. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and commit with a message that's saying auth server separated from API server. Git push origin. What was the name of this? Refresh key. All right. Push this. Pull request. Create a new pull request from development to development. Create the pull request. Merge the pull request. Confirm the merge. Delete the branch. And now I can also make an additional pull request. And actually merge this into main. So now I can see there's a lot of different pull requests here. There are 11 change files. Here's everything that's changed so far since the last time we updated main. Server, login, logout, server created, create the pull request, merge the pull request, confirm the merge. Cool. So main, okay, so development is now updated as of 2 minutes ago, and main should also be updated as of 2 minutes ago. So everything is all on the same page. We're good to go. I can ignore this message over here. It's really hard for me to do. I want to click this button really badly, but there's no need for me to do that. Cool. So now that that's up and running, oh, excuse me. It's only 8:30 my time. I take a sip of my tea. Ugh, it's good, but it does not have caffeine in it. Um, let's check our MVP list. Let's see how we're doing. So we're able to sync the relational database, yes. We're able to complete basic CRUD operations, check, yes. We don't have the actual portal built out on the front end, so I'm gonna leave this as incomplete. Um, Instead of writing check and everything on here, I'm actually just gonna go and start highlighting things. Maybe it looks messier, but I don't mind. So create, this is just in progress. I'll leave it as yellow. Users, not able to do any of this stuff. View available rooms. We're interested to be able to view dashboard. Admins. Okay. Sign up, log in. Locate apartment complexes, rooms to submit an application as a renter. I'll be able to do these things. So as I build this app out, first I want people to be able to log in. And when they're logging in, this is more what we need to focus on. We just need them to be able to sign up, log in, and get them ready to submit an application to the team. That way we can process their application and they're able to get the apartment. So this is going to be the next focus. It's going to be to start creating apartment complexes and rooms and um, begin setting it up so that they can submit an application. So definitely gonna be looking at more front end stuff as we build that portion out. So that's gonna be really fun. Yeah, and we can focus more on the actual dashboard portion after they're able to submit an application and an admin is able to approve the user application. I don't think I want to get that far. I think I'll leave this a little bit further out, but I want them to be able to log in and sign up um, as a user for now. So let's go back to our GitHub. Let's check our Kanban board. Oh, the homepage is more or less designed, I guess. Not really. So continue to work through that. Um, we never really created a wireframe. Um, I'm gonna make this a little bit more specific. Create wireframe for dashboard. Set up OAuth 2. Don't know when I'll do that. Create first apartment. Definitely have to do that. Set up admin dashboard. Set up renter dashboard. And what's the next thing that we want to do? We want to um, let's see. Create, sign in, sign up, log out pages for front end. This is in progress. Let's see. Create sign in, sign up, load in login pages for the front end. What else? I think this is good for now. This is what we're going to be doing next. And then also, I want to add one thing into the done category, which is set up backend for sign in, sign up, log out. Okay. So I'll leave it at that for now. Next focus is going to be on the front end for to use these login, sign up, log out, to have those buttons interact with our actual database. So that's going to be, I'm going to consider setting up Redux to complete these. I just like having the ability to just kind of separate out my app more using Redux for my React app. So I'll take some time to think about it and see how I want to go about it. But yes, we're gonna start hooking up the front end to our back end. So it's gonna be a lot more of creating the structure that's going to take the time rather than the creating these actual API connections. That's going to be take up the bulk of the stream next time. So that'll likely take a quite a bit of quite a good amount of time. So I think it's good to just leave it at that. So thanks so much for stopping by. If you're able to listen today, uh, to me finishing up the back end portion of the application with a lot of debugging, honestly, for this the back end authentication portion. But now that it's all set up and separated into its own server, this should be a lot more straightforward to correct any errors in the future now that everything's properly set up, and most edge cases have been handled for any of these backend requests. So thanks so much again. Look forward to tomorrow to begin working on this next portion, and hope everyone has a good rest of their day. Peace.